Hey, everybody, this is Tom Salemi. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of the DeviceTalks Weekly Podcast. You're getting this early. It's actually Tuesday. It's obviously DeviceTalks West Week. Please join us tomorrow, Wednesday, and the next day, Thursday, October 19th and 20th at the Santa Clara Convention Center. We'll get into it a bit in the podcast, but I'm not likely to be able to put out a podcast on Friday, but I did want to give you a little bit of something. So we connected with an old friend and partner of ours, who you'll hear from very soon. But once again, if you'd like to attend DeviceTalks West, go to DeviceTalks.com to register or reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we'll see what we can do. All right, let's get this episode going. We've got an Intuitive Talks coming out this week. We have a Medtronic Talks coming out this week, and more great content coming out for you next week. So I hope your ears are happy, and I really would love to see you in Santa Clara. All right, you ready for this?
Ready.
Chris Newmarker, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How you doing, Tom?
So just for the sake of sanity, so we don't try to, we don't enter the multiverse here trying to explain what our timing is. It is now Monday morning. You and I are talking on Monday morning. Our conference is on Wednesday.
That's right.
I'm flying out tonight. You're flying out tomorrow night or tomorrow day?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
So we are headed
busy week.
To Santa Clara,
yes,
for DeviceTalks West. So we hope we look forward to seeing hundreds of you who will be there, but we'd love to see all of you. So if you have not yet registered, go to DeviceTalks.com, and if you really want to go, send Chris and I a message on LinkedIn, and we'll see if we can convince you. Yeah, see if we can sweeten the deal a little bit.
Yeah, we can pull some strings.
We appreciate.
We got a little pull, right, Tom?
we still do. Yeah. We got pull. So it's going to be a busy week, but we wanted to take a moment to open our podcast doors, so to speak, to our old friend and partner, Paul Grand at Medtech Innovator. Paul, welcome.
Hey, thank you very much. Happy to be here, guys.
Yeah, great to see you again, Paul. And we were originally going to do this on Friday, but luckily my Los Angeles mug was still. I found it clean in the dishwasher this morning, so there we go. We still have a Los Angeles mug to honor Paul here.
It's good to know you do those dishes regularly. That's good, Chris.
Yeah, it's good. Good to have good house cleaning habits.
That's right. He's got the 3-year-olds working on the dishes, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, sure.
6-year-old does the laundry? Yeah. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Those young children are extremely helpful. It's amazing.
They're super helpful. Always around the house with the helping. So, Paul, you've got some news coming out of the old Medtech Innovator. You've got some finalists. Big week next week. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we do. Thanks, guys. Always wonderful to be back here in the booth with you boys at DeviceTalks. So thanks for having me on. So let me, I'll quickly share some of our news, which is that this week coming up is really one of my favorite times of year, which is the finals for Medtech Innovator, the competitions. And I always like to tell people the program is the prize, the actual accelerator itself. That's the prize. That's the thing that everybody should be shooting for. And just making it into the accelerator, with less than a 4% or so acceptance rate is pretty amazing.
Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, my son's applying to many colleges, so none of which have a 4% acceptance rate, I assure you. So you're very exclusive.
Yeah, we are incredibly. Yeah, literally thousands of companies apply, and we only accept 50 into the main program. So it's a pretty tight ship. And when it comes down to the companies we accept, but it's fun. A fun part of all this is the end when we get to have some big competitions and celebrate some of these companies more than just saying, hey, they're all winners, which they are. We like to go a little extra and give away some prizes and let the audience tell us who some of their favorites are. So that's what we get to do. Literally a week from now, at least for this recording, it'll be Tuesday of next week. well, actually Monday and Tuesday of next week during the Medtech conference in Boston. We'll have our competitions. It's very, very exciting. I'm happy to tell you guys a little more about who some of those companies are.
Definitely in the thick of medical device industry conference season. I mean, we got our DeviceTalks event this week, then you got AdvaMed next week in Boston, and then I'll be heading over to the show floor at MD in Minneapolis in about too soon. I'll be over there. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So did any of the, I should have looked this up before we go on. Did any of the, you're a great partner for our DeviceTalks Boston meeting. You had 2 days of presentations on May 10th and 11th of this past year. You'll be back next year. Excited to have you there. I should have asked and I should have checked. Did any of our DeviceTalks companies make the final 5? I don't think so.
That's a great question. And you're right. So we had some amazing companies presenting at DeviceTalks this past May. And those companies were actually all companies that were vying. They were the more advanced stage companies that were vying for the slots in what we call our showcase program.
Okay.
So those companies are not eligible for the finals competition.
All right.
Okay.
So they aged out, huh? Yeah,
they aged out. Exactly. They are eligible for some of our competitions. We have a best video competition, for example, and there'll be some in that. But the main finals competition, we try to give particular emphasis for our earlier stage companies that haven't yet raised a Series B.
Gotcha.
In most cases. So that's what we're shooting for, the seed and Series A kind of company. We want to give them a little extra visibility.
All right. Well, we can't afford the drum roll sound effects anymore. They cut the budget. So let's roll. Don't do that, Chris. It's just sad. It's sad when you try to do a drum roll.
I'm just trying.
I know you're very innovative.
Do like a.
Okay.
Was that my drum roll?
Yeah, let's roll.
There you go.
Let's do that again. Go, Chris. All right. So with that, let me tell you who our 5 finalists are for the finals at Medtech Innovator 2022. There are 5 companies that will be competing in the grand finals. The first is 52 North Health, who makes a technology to help people restore their quality of life during chemotherapy. It's a platform, and it's a really exciting company. The second company is LiveMetric, which makes a wrist-worn cuffless blood pressure monitor. We've all heard lots of these things out there. We've backed a number of them at Medtech Innovator over the years, and this is the first one that's been cleared by the FDA.
That's great.
That's great.
That's someone of an age where, like, my doctor, when I go in for a checkup, tells me to check my blood pressure for a week. Like that sounds like a good product. Let's to mess with.
It's a great product, and look, they beat Apple and everybody else to the game, right? Wow. You'd think some other people, who are super well funded would have gotten there first, but LiveMetric won. So they're in the finals. Limax Biosciences, a company that makes an adhesive technology, a sealant technology for surgery that can really do some incredible things in terms of being able to heal the heart and other organs during surgery and make sure that they're not continuing to bleed. And it's an incredibly strong technology. So it provides a great adhesive. We're excited about them. And everyone who watches this, it's one of those things where you go, oh, adhesives, that's not that exciting. And then you watch the video and you go, wow, that's amazing.
I mean, this is adhesive for heart tissue and stuff like that.
Exactly, during surgery with beating hearts and all that kind of stuff. And you go, wow, I can't believe they can do that.
This isn't me trying to re-glue the knick-knack that fell off the shelf. That's not what's going on here.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where they show the video and then they have this great shot of one of the team members holding up a heart dangling from their adhesive.
Wow.
And then everyone goes, ooh, wow. At the same time. It's really cool. So that's Limax. Then we have Moon Surgical. Moon Surgical. I know you guys have featured here on DeviceTalks before.
We've had CEO and Ozwa on the podcast before, and we'll have their Chief Technology Officer, David Newton. Chris is moderating a panel with him on the second day of DeviceTalks West. So, yeah,
you got to love a company that that the first employee over at Oris, heads over and joins Moon Surgical. That tells you something.
Yeah, right.
You're in a world of hundreds of robotic surgery companies. And you go, well, what else is there for us to do in robotic surgery? But I can tell you firsthand, there's a ton to do in robotic surgery still.
Well, they have a really interesting idea, because they're not, instead of replacing the surgeon with a robot, they're replacing the surgical assistant with a robot. And, especially now, when like staffing shortages are becoming, such a challenge for hospitals. I mean, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea, and it's incredibly well executed, and which is why they're in the finals. The finals are, I should set this context after I announce the last company. I'll give you the context for why this is so amazing that these companies are in the finals. Moon Surgical has had like 26 or 27 human cases already. And this is a company that just closed their Series A back in June. So, I know they've gone from like 8 employees to 18 employees since June. They've done 27 humans. They've done it in lots of different, clinical lead categories, different types of surgeries. And they've been able to do every single one of them without a surgical assistant, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Very well executed company. And then the fifth company in the finals is PHIEX Technologies, PHIEX. And this is a really interesting company, as they all are, but this one is not your classic, another device to do XYZ that you might hear about. This is a company that really serves our entire industry, as well as humanity in general. And what they do is they tackle the problem that is so pervasive, which is ETO sterilization, which has been under attack by the EPA. And, it affects about half of the devices that are manufactured. I think it's $20 billion worth of devices or something.
Major sterilization method, but like an increasingly number as the plants have aged. The increased problems are increasingly cropping up around potentially cancer causing pollutions and such. So.
Right. Exactly. And as an industry whose goal is to save lives, we want to make sure that we're doing that as best we can. And I think that's the opportunity with PHIEX, is that they have an alternative to ETO that is self-sterilizing packaging. And literally what it is a material, like a powder that you sprinkle inside the bag, and a special film that they produce. And through light activation, releases chlorine dioxide and sterilizes whatever it is. And that's it. It's self-sterilizing.
It's amazing
material. It's crazy. And it completely revolutionizes how we sterilize our instruments. And I know that they've got, for a young company, they've got deals signed with some of the largest manufacturers in our industry. And there'll be products coming to market using their technology in the near future. So that's amazing. Is amazing. And as I said, this is a startup. This is a startup.
I'm so glad to see you get the recognition. I actually interviewed the CEO. She's part of a panel I did virtually for the Northern New England Medtech Conference last year. And she was on a panel with 4 other young CEOs and entrepreneurs. And when she, similar to the video of the adhesive, when she told me what she was doing, I was like, wow. I'm like, really? And it's one of those things, like, I really hope that's true. Like, I really hope that works, because it sounds terrific. So I'm so glad to see this company getting traction.
I am too. Yeah, no, I am too. I think, as I said, I'm extremely excited about seeing one of our smaller companies come in and completely have the opportunity to disrupt our industry, and not in a bad way, in a good way. Come in and make such a huge impact potentially. PHIEX actually won The first competition we had earlier this year, back in June at the Wilson Sonsini Conference, which was our Vision Award, and they won first place in that as a new visionary technology. And I remember some of the judges and people coming over to me afterwards, Tom, saying something like what you just said, which is like, "Boy, I hope this works."
Exactly.
I had to pick my mouth up off the floor after I heard what they can do, because this just sounds so incredible, and I hope it's not too good to be true. That's what people always say, but it looks like it's not too good to be true. So we're excited.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. I recall FDA was making a call for new innovative alternative technologies for sterilization. So it's really cool that somebody's stepping up with something.
Yeah, and in fact, chlorine dioxide, what FIEX uses, is one that FDA called out for. So they're delivering on an FDA call to action, which is pretty terrific.
That's great. So as always, or as has been the case the last 2 years, I believe, the winner is more than welcome to come on the podcast for an interview and talk about their company. So happy to have one of these companies back. We've already had Moon Surgical on, but happy to have her back again. So yeah,
look, I hope you'll have them all on, Tom.
Well, eventually we will.
Eventually you will, because these companies are all amazing. And lest you think these are the only amazing companies, as I mentioned, we have an execution award competition also next week on Monday, and that's 5 other companies that all of the mentors, and I also didn't set that context, that basically, how do the companies make it to the finals? It's not Paul Grand going, "Oh, that's an interesting company, let's put them in the finals." Right. We have mentors from all of our strategic partners, as well as others in industry, who have been working with these companies for the last 4 to 5 months. And they come in, it's the leadership at J&J and Olympus and Becton Dickinson and, another, we have 12 voting members and another 25 other partners who all come in and give us their favorites. They come in and they go, "I've been working with this company for 5 weeks and they need to be in the finals." And they champion the companies. And they explain to all the other mentors as to why they think their company should be in, and other people chime in and agree or disagree. And then they all vote and they choose the companies. So we have the 5 companies that are in the finals. We have 5 others that everybody thought were executing incredibly well. And they get to compete for the execution award. So I'll just name them quickly, but Bright Euro, Endolux, Evo Endo, Lead Optic, and Suture Guard, who are really amazing companies as well. All of them could have been in the finals, but because of the way we vote, so they are amazing, and they're going to get a chance to compete for a $25,000 prize in execution. And then we also have a value award competition that's going to recognize some of these same companies, as well as Cardiacare and MiaCore and SafeBeat RX. So we have all these companies that are going to be featured in some different competitions. And you'll be hearing about them, I'm sure, and featuring them on the podcast, because these are really the emerging leaders that you're going to be reading about and talking about in the coming years. I can assure you. Great. Well, Chris, I realize now we have these 5 finalists, and you always have five newsmakers. So will you grant newsmaker status to all 5 of these Medtech Innovator finalists?
I grant the newsmaker status. So I need to have a sword here or something.
But if you're going to grant them newsmaker status, then I will follow, and subscribe.
Sounds like there a deal. Go. All right, there we go.
That's all we ask. Thank you.
Remember. All right, here we go.
All right. So next week, the final pitch session is what day on AdvaMed, and when, and how can people go? All right. So the execution award will be Monday. And that will be during what is called the AdvaMed Excel portion of the MedTech conference. So you just pop on over to the Excel room, ballroom. You'll be able to find it during the conference on Monday. The finals will be at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday in the main plenary room. So the big stage. That's where these companies will be competing. And anyone who's at the conference is welcome to attend.
Even if you just have an exhibition pass and you don't have a pass to the entire conference, you can still come in. If you have an exhibit hall pass, you can still come to see the finals. So that'll be Tuesday at 4:15. And if you're an investor, you can get a comp code to the entire conference just by emailing me or emailing Medtech Innovator. You can email us at investors@medtechinnovator.org, and we will be happy to send you a comp code to the entire conference, which will be not just an opportunity to see our finals, but also to network with all 54 of our companies that will be attending the conference, who are flying in from all over the US and around the world, as well as some other really cool content from some of the big strategics who are going to do reverse pitches for investors and tell them what they're looking for. So if I was an investor, which I am, then I love nothing more than hearing the strategics tell me what they want. That is amazing when you have a portfolio and you can hear the BD and M&A teams over at someone like J&J go, and this is exactly what we're looking for. And you can go, God, I've got a company you need to talk to. So yeah, investors@medtechinnovator.org, and we will we'll send you a code so you can go to the conference for free.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for sharing the news on the podcast, Paul, and best of luck next week with the finals.
Thank you. Thank you both. It's great to be here. It's always great to be here. And I look forward to coming back and talking about who won in a little bit. We'll do that as well.
We'll definitely have you back for that. And of course, we'll talk about what you have planned for DeviceTalks Boston, May 10th and 11th next year.
Absolutely. Good luck with your conference. I know that the DeviceTalks West is going to be an amazing event. I know some of our innovators are going to be there, and I'm really excited that you guys are doing that again here on the West Coast. So thanks for that, guy.
Not here. All right. Well, Chris lost his audio. So I think that's a sign from God that we'll just wrap it up and ask folks to join us at DeviceTalks West. Join us at DeviceTalks West. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday at the Santa Clara Convention Center. You can go to DeviceTalks.com to register, or reach out to Chris or myself, and we'll hook you up. What are you going to say, Paul?